Hello, welcome back to our channel. Thanks for tuning in again. Today we just wanted to kind of show you or tell you a little bit more about what it was for us to leave Ireland, what it looked like a little bit, because we had a few friends asking us what it felt like, what it looked like on the airport and so on, and we just thought we might as well tell you a little bit about it.
Yeah, so leaving Ireland in 2021, it's a bit of a surreal experience, definitely completely different to what it was pre the virus, obviously. So there's a lot of sort of different things that we had to go through in order to leave Dublin. One of them was we needed a test. Now, I'm sure you're all aware, there's loads of different types of tests that you can get. There's the PCR test, there's the antigen test, there's the antibody test, and I think there's
another one that's called LAMP, L-A-M-P.
Yeah, LAMP.
But the most important thing is to really check the regulations of your destination country up front. So like for Germany, for example, it had to be at least the antigen test. But when we were standing at the airport, we saw loads of people that had the wrong test. So like they got the antibody test, and that one, for example, was not allowed by the German government. So you had to have at least the antigen test.
Yeah, we saw a fair few people being turned away for having the wrong test. So just make sure, that's number one, I'd say, is to make sure that you have the right test for the right country, because every country seems to have different regulations. Like for some reason it seems to affect the country differently. So like PCR seems to be like the one size fits all. That seems to be the one that most countries are taking. Some countries don't take it. Some countries prefer, like Germany, you can do an antigen test, which is much quicker. Like we got the results like 30 minutes after we did our test. We just went to grab a coffee. We're negative. We got the test results and both negative. So we're waiting now. We're going to go check in. The thing after the test was that we noticed anyways in Dublin airport was there's a lot of military. So in Ireland at the moment we have a mandatory hotel quarantine, which is basically for people that are arriving into Dublin. So when people come into Dublin, there's obviously like a list of countries that is constantly being updated, and if you arrive from one of those countries, you have to go into a mandatory hotel quarantine for 2 weeks, and it costs like €2,000 as well. So obviously it's a way of limiting people to come into Ireland, which I guess it's understandable. So there's a lot of military in the airport, more military than there was people traveling. So
they're waiting for you on the arrivals as well. So like you come out of the door like normally after customs or whatever, and they're actually picking you up from there and driving you over to the hotel quarantine. So like that was a bit, I don't know, it felt like being in a different country, to be honest. It didn't feel like Ireland at all.
Yeah, it's a bit of like, it almost feels a bit invasive, like in a way. I know it is our own military, it's the Irish military that's doing it, but the fact that they're transporting people to a mandatory hotel, it's a little bit crazy. Feels like you're in like a bit of a twilight zone, seeing all of them around the airport. And then as well, just before you go, after you check in, so you check in, you obviously provide your negative test. Once you get past the check-in part, then there's a police checkpoint. So there's like 2 or 3 police officers standing just before security. And basically what they do, or what the purpose of them being there is, I guess, is they ask people if their travel is necessary. Now, obviously, we have one-way tickets, so we were taking a one-way ticket from Dublin to Frankfurt. So basically, we presented the one-way ticket. The police officer that I personally dealt with was not a nice person. He seemed to be really annoyed that I was leaving Ireland for some strange reason. He had like a lot of questions as well.
Even though we said straight away, like he asked us, okay, so what's the reason for your journey? And we were saying, all right, we're relocating, we're leaving the country, we're not planning on coming back. And instead of just saying like, okay, that's fine, go ahead, He continued to ask Luke like loads of questions, like, do you have a job in Ireland? Do you have a job in Germany? Do you have like an apartment? It just seemed like a little bit like an interrogation, as if he didn't really want to let you go.
Yeah, it was a little bit strange. But once I said, yeah, I have a job, yeah, I know what I'm doing, yeah, I have a place, that was fine. Went past, let's forget about it. And then we went obviously into the security, and then after the police checkpoint, everything is as normal as it was before. Obviously, the only difference is you have to wear face masks constantly. Now, I got like a snood, which is like a thing that goes around your neck. It's really easy and breathable. You just pull it up over your nose. Kind of look like a bit like a hooligan, like a football hooligan when you're wearing it. But I got that thinking that I was going to be all good to wear that on the airplane. And then I got onto the airplane, and they have specific masks now that you have to wear. This is with Lufthansa, which is a German airline. And currently in Germany, there's a specific type of mask, medical masks, or FFP2, I think is the mask that you have to wear. So when I got onto the plane, the stewardess looked at me and was like, "Can you change your mask?" And I was like, "Yeah, I don't have one." And then she gave me one. So that was fine. Changed the mask and all was good. And then we were on our way.
And then back in Germany, like obviously on the flight, everything was normal outside of you have to wear the mask all of the time.
Touchdown, Germany.
Touchdown.
We're here. We made it to Frankfurt. Now we have to go through some security and see what's up. Check in a few.
We just had to fill out a e-locator form beforehand and had to say, all right, we're quarantining for 10 days.
Yep.
And that was it, really, in Germany.
Yeah, it's pretty smooth. Once we got off the plane in Germany, all was good. That was really it. Just basically fill out the locator form, like Naomi said. We didn't get checked up on in terms of quarantine, but very, very smooth transition. If any of you guys that are watching these videos and you're thinking like, oh, I'm afraid to go, or I'm afraid to leave Ireland, or I'm afraid to leave wherever you are in the world right now, and if you do have that itch to get up and go and travel, we're not recommending that you go and travel willy-nilly and ignore all the safety regulations. Be safe about it. Like, wear the mask. Wear the mask. Like, if you are vaccinated, that's fine. Whatever you want to do, like, just realize that the world is still there for you to travel around. Don't be afraid to get up and go.
I think key is really to just do your research up front, know whatever country you're going to, like know the regulations of that country, and try to, organize your trip around that a little bit more. And other than that, it's pretty much the same, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Most flights are actually even cheaper at the moment as well. Like, there's very, very cheap flights going because they know not many people are traveling, so they're just literally trying to fill planes with people. So if you do have a bit of money saved up and you do want to go and travel somewhere, even if you're looking for somewhere that's a little bit more laid back on restrictions and stuff, just Google it. You can find it really quick, and just take a little bit of a mental break if you need to, because we understand that all of these restrictions and everything that's going on in the world, it weighs on you mentally, and that's exactly one of the main reasons why we left Ireland. Obviously here in Germany there is restrictions. They're just different. There's not as much of a police presence here in Germany. I'm not sure why. In Ireland, there's police on every street that you walk down nearly. You see police cars everywhere. You see police walking everywhere. I'm not anti-police. I'm actually very pro police in terms of actually looking after the public. But when it comes to the feeling of you're being pressured into obeying all of these rules, Germany is pretty free. We just have a curfew here. That's the only thing where it's kind of like, oh, okay, you do have to be back in your house by 10 p.m. But if you're going running, you can run until midnight.
Yeah, or if you go for a walk with your dog or something like that, you can still do it, obviously.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But if you have any questions or any comments around traveling and what it felt like and all of the regulations around it, please feel free to just contact us either on Instagram or in the comments below. And yeah.
Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe.
Please.
Smash the living balls out of the like button and drop a little comment down below as well.
Thank you.
Peace.
Do you see that? What is it? The square.
A square.
Guck mal, da steht jetzt Abflug ankommen. Das habe ich vorhin nicht gesehen. Von der Seite steht das da.